Okay, we're going to talk tell you everything you ever wanted to know about OpenMind software licensing, how the license files or pack files and USB dongle or security dongle work together to allow you to use Hypermill. Would be everything you ever wanted to know. First off, we're talking about a single seat installation. That means that you have one version or one license for Hypermill that corresponds with each dongle your company has. This is typical in most cases if you're using a network installation, meaning you have multiple seats on a single dongle. We got a video that's specific for your needs. Watch that instead. Okay. What are you going to need to get started? First off, we're going to work on the assumption that your Hypermill software is already installed on your workstation. And it can be Hypermill, HyperCAD, Hypermill and SolidWorks, Hypermill Inventor. It all works the same. Okay, you're going to need your USB dongle. What's that? You might hear us call it a security lock or something like that. Here's a picture of a couple of different versions of them. This probably looks familiar and it's probably sticking out the side of your workstation. They all work the same. You're going to need your license files or your pack files, you might hear us called. Most likely it came to you via email from one of the OpenMind staff members. Okay, you would get pack files for Hypermill functionality. We'd send you a different pack file for each new version of Hypermill that came out. Okay, so you might have several of them. You also might get a specific pack file that relates to your specific machine model within Hyper-V. And this takes about 3 minutes. Okay, like I said, most likely you got your license file via email from one of the OpenMind staff members. The question is, what do you do with it then? Okay, what we'd like to see you do is just save it to your OpenMind directory within program files. You should create a specific folder to hold all of your license. Like I said, you're going to get a different license every time we come out with a new version of software, so you're going to be building some of these things up over time. So create a specific directory to save them. Most likely you can call that codes or you can call it license. It really doesn't matter. Once you save the files to your the directory where you're going to store all of your license files, the question is what to do with it next. Well, first off, let's just talk a little bit about what they are. As you can see, this is the naming convention that we kind of use. Perp means perpetual. This is your dongle number. This is the version of Hypermill that the license is intended for. Okay, what's inside of them? It's nothing too overly mysterious. If you want to open them up via Notepad, you're going to see basically we just use a license to dictate what functionality of the software is available to you. This is going to look different for every single customer depending on what you contracted with us for. We have different licenses for all the different 2D strategies, 3D strategies, 5-axis strategies, multi-axis indexing, Hyper-V, machine models, etc. Okay, so it's going to be different in every single case. Basically, what do you have to do to use the license? Well, if you're already happily using Hypermill and you've already are using it, and this is just an additional license that we've sent you, just double click on it. OpenMind Info Center will open automatically. You just say, hey, insert this new license into my current file and click on OK. Awesome. Okay, let's say we've given you a couple of licenses. At that point, you could then say, hey, load up an additional one while you're at it. And click on OK, and yeah, do you want to use this? Yes, you do.